So I want to introduce Elena Grushko, Senior Lecturer of Southern Federal University, Department of English for Sciences. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, colleagues. Good afternoon. And so, sorry for a bit of inconvenience with the logistics things, like, right? You probably had a bit of hard time getting here, or not really? Not really. So we really needed well-equipped and big enough room. So, because actually we are really happy to see that many people who got interested in this subject. Again, my name is Elena, and just a few words about myself. I have been doing teaching, English language teaching, for over 20 years. And I started it as soon as I graduated from Teachers Training University, or Pedagogical Institute as it was known for so many years. And before we start discussing this very interesting and at the same time a bit challenging for me, at the beginning it was quite challenging, like a bit of terra incognita to some extent, subject, I would like to ask you, does everybody here have an English language teaching background, professional background? Is everybody here with this kind of professional background? Everybody. Who is not? Raise your hands. Okay, so all the professionals. So that makes my task even more difficult a bit. Okay, how about the type of English you teach? Is it English for general purposes, like English for comprehensive school programs? Who does English for general purposes? Who teaches English for general purposes? English for everyday communication, yeah? Okay, so right. How about English for academic purposes? All the colleagues who work here in this very department and this very faculty. And English for, is ESP or English for specific, for special purposes? Okay, quite a number of people, right? Dear colleagues, before we get down to this subject, Cambridge FCE and Russian ЕГЭ in English, similarities and differences, I would like to ask another question. Does anyone have the hands-on experience of taking any of Cambridge exams? Do you have an experience of being test takers? Not being the examiners or assessors, but test takers of any of these Cambridge exams? Okay, so which one?
CPE.
CPE, and me too, CPE, no other. And which one?
TKT.
TKT, that's, yeah, okay, for teachers of English. TKT. Okay, I'm asking this question because, well, you might reasonably want to ask, and why do we have to compare these two exams, and do we really need to do so? I'm going to try my best and convince you that there are a number of quite very good reasons to do so. Okay, which one? Several devices. I prepared some slides to make it more visual, and I will refer to them. First of all, here you can see the title, Cambridge ESOL/ELA exams. Any idea? ESOL sounds very familiar, right? What does ESOL stand for? What does it stand for? ESOL, this acronym.
English for speakers of other languages.
Right, exactly. English to speakers of other languages. And this acronym, kind of this brand, Cambridge ESOL, has been known for so many years, for such a long time. But if you now go on their site, you will Google Cambridge ESOL, and you will see the site. And now they have updated, or kind of, now it's a new version of the site. maybe 2-3 weeks ago, it was not operating, it was under maintenance for some period of time. And now, no ESOL, but ELA. Any idea what ELA stands for? Come on, whatever, generate whatever ideas. It's always difficult with acronyms, right? Huh? Assessment, exactly. English language assessment. And here you can see, also you can find it on the side, you can see this figure, 100. That's a very big event, a very big anniversary they are going to celebrate this year. So Cambridge ESOL and Cambridge exams people are going to celebrate their centenary this year. And for so many years, their logo and they were known under this name. University of Cambridge ESOL examinations. Now, no longer, on the side, it's Cambridge English Language Assessment, part of the University of Cambridge. And you might want again to ask, and what for? What's the difference? What is wrong with ESOL? ESOL has a very clear message, right? English to speakers of other languages. Well, hopefully, not hopefully, but I know for sure, because they explained it very clearly and gave a very straightforward explanation again on their side, that their reasons were more logical than sometimes we have reasons here to give different names, like from militia to politia and things like that, right? So they said that the purpose is to make it easy for people to understand what they really do. And what they really do, they are involved in language assessment, in testing language skills, English language skills. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So now the same, you see this coat of arms or whatever, and another acronym. There are lots of acronyms in our field, right? In ELF and EFL fields like teaching. So English language assessment. Now on the slide, you can see some major things. I'm not going to talk for a long, and I'm not going to make it into a one-way communication, monologue, lecture style presentation. Though at the beginning, I will give you some facts, some figures, maybe some statistics, which I personally found interesting, sometimes surprising. And then I'm going to actively involve you into the work, because you will be comparing the examination papers from FCE and from ЕГЭ. You will find the similarities and differences, and then we will do some of the tasks in each paper and compare. So the story of language assessment started in Cambridge in 1858. But at that time, they organized this body, University of Cambridge Local Examination Syndicate, and the purpose was to assess the English language competence of the native speakers. And they were encouraged to start doing this by the society, because they needed a better system of language assessment of the school leavers, those who were planning to become university students. But the story of assessment of non-native speakers started in 1913. And the first CP exam was held in Cambridge. And so, hence that was the very first year, just the beginning of the whole story. And the first CPE, those who probably didn't take this exam, but probably were planning to take it, or those who, just looked through the format of Cambridge exams, you might have a very good idea of what it's like, and it's really horrible, terrible, difficult, whatever adjectives you might find. Very, very challenging exam. But in 1913, it was taken by only 3 candidates in a single examination center in the UK, and the exam lasted for 12 hours. For 12 hours. So, and, so unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. And though I couldn't find the information who were those 3 poor non-native speakers from which countries, but only 3. So, and just to give you an idea of what it was like, and you will tell me what was the focus, what method just underlies the configuration of the exam. Written part, translation from English into French or German, 2 hours. Translation from French or German into English and questions on English grammar, 2.5 hours. English essay, 2 hours. English literature, 3 hours. English phonetics, 1.5 hours. And the oral examination, dictation, 30 minutes. Reading and conversation, 30 minutes. Okay, which method underlies or underpins can be considered to be the theoretical and practical foundation of this exam? Yeah, obviously, grammar translation method, which dominated all over the world, just all over the world, people who studied foreign languages, and for many years that were 2 languages, Latin and Greek, right? So, grammar translation method dominated and was considered to be the only correct method, yeah? So nobody had any doubts about its validity or whatever, and practicality. If we take this into account, just the format of the first CP exam, and think of all these 100 years of the history, certainly just it's fair to say that a lot has changed since that time. A lot. And again, so the growth, this immense growth, which we can see now, and the interest of people all over the world in taking Cambridge exams is really huge. Over 4 million people take it all over the world. So you see, from 3 to over 4 million. 4 million people. And of course, the format of the exam, not only CPE exam, all the Cambridge exams has changed, and the focus is certainly on communicative skills, on productive skills, speaking, writing, and also listening and reading. Yeah? Because grammar translation method didn't concentrate much on productive skills, right? The focus transferred from the skills to read and translate to skills which are essential, which are vital for effective communication, right? Because this skill is now really needed for candidates, for their success at the universities, in studies, at the workplace, probably for immigration purposes, right? And moreover, of course, this skill of communicative being or having very efficient communicative competence also become so a competitive advantage in today's world, right? Then here you can see how that's Cambridge, now ELA exam staff, define their purpose, their mission. So to be the experts in language assessment, delivering excellence and innovation. So by the way, I just at one moment I was thinking, oh, sounds great. It's really, you know, the message, the idea, the mission is really clear. And then I was trying to translate it into Russian, and really couldn't do it well. I mean, with all these the same words. Maybe you will try it and just by the end of the seminar come up with the Russian Russian version of this, okay? Mission, because that's important, right? Like the motto, the mission, that's now so important, like logo and motto, they're so important in any business now, right? So that's back to grammar translation method. Probably there is another disbalance, and so, okay, all the Cambridge exams are designed and produced following these four important things. They are guided in the production of the tests and the exam materials by these four things. And let's briefly look at each of them. Validity. What does that mean? What does that mean, validity? So, an idea. When we speak about the exam, about the test, validity, what does that mean? The period of time? You mean how long the certificate is valid?
You mean validity of the test?
Yes, the validity of the test. So, because it's, below their mission, so to be able to deliver excellence and innovation, and they are guided by these four things. They underlie the process, the rigorous process of producing the tests and the exams. Validity. What's Russian for validity, by the way? Validность. And any...
In Russian, действительный.
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 Достоверный. Okay. So, right. Validity, in this case, validity means that all their test papers provide accurate and consistent assessment of all four language skills at the appropriate level. So, because sometimes when our EGE, at least I've heard some comments, when our EGE is analyzed in English, some of my colleagues told me that, well, so, for example, reading task 3, the text was something kind of the level was from CPE level. How can it be possible? That means that it's not valid. But again, at the moment I can't trust or not trust this person, because it might be some subjective opinion or very surface-like approach to things, right? Or maybe this poor student exaggerated the whole tragedy, how difficult it was, and then the teacher just followed the emotions of the student. So, but it means that all the four skills which are tested and assessed, for example, at the FCE level or CP level, they should be reliable, accurate, and consistent in all tasks. Because it cannot be like 0 in speaking and 90 or whatever A mark in writing or reading or listening. Yeah, we know that very well that it's hardly possible, right? So that's validity. Reliability. I have already used this word. For me, it was a little bit confusing. So validity, clear, accurate and consistent assessment of all language skills at the appropriate level. Because, for example, if it's FCE, that's level B2. B2 of, that will be the next slide when we speak about the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, right? So, reliability. Reliability, again, there is a word there, accurate and stable results which can be used or which can be relied on, confidently relied on for describing the ability of the candidate. For describing the ability of the candidate. Impact. Asteroid impact, for example. Yeah. So meteor impact, right? So impact, just there, great ambition is to make it as as positive as possible. So that means that to relate the format of exams to the teaching curriculum in such a way that encourages very positive experience. So though sometimes can be quite disappointing experience, and I know from some of my acquaintances who were preparing for CPE exam, and so were having a very hard and busy time doing that, and then they failed it, and it was a big frustration. So, but their purpose is to make it as positive as possible, though not always achievable, right? And practicality doesn't refer much to us teachers. That refers to the language centers who organize, who hold these exams, right? So that means that they should be easy, they should be organized and represented in such a way that they are easy to organize, practically organize at a particular language center, examination center. Okay, here, that's the old logo, but anyway. So here you can see the main Cambridge main suite, or Cambridge main set of examinations. And if you have a look at the dates, you already know that CPE was the first, was the pioneer in this enterprise, right? And then next FCE. The first FCE was held in 1939. And then the other exams appeared much later, right? So, and in this chart or whatever table, you can see how Cambridge exams correlate with other widely known and internationally accepted systems for describing language or linguistic ability. So, does this acronym look familiar? CEFR. So, and you can see the logo of the Common European Union, right? So CEFR stands for Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. So, and it was introduced in 2001. So there is another organization, and I haven't heard about it before. I started to prepare for this seminar. It's Association of Language Testers in Europe. Appeared before this one. Have you heard about this, by the way? ALT. You have? You have. So, and this one is very famous. It's very widely known, right? So, International English Language Testing System is so popular among students of this very faculty because they have high IQ, those who study here. And yeah, in this respect we're lucky, and some of them apply for exchange programs, and then they need to take IELTS academic. There is a general and academic there, right? IELTS. So IELTS appeared in 1989, and now you can have a look how they correlate, yeah? So according to this one seems to be very important now, because every course book, have a look. Does this look familiar? Does this course book look familiar? Spotlight. Sorry colleagues, does anyone work at school? It's comprehensive school. But you use different course book, not this one. Yeah? This one. And you see this. What does that mean? That it was designed and produced and, I don't know, developed according to the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Though, of course, you know, here, I can't say that that's the only possible I could find. That's the only possible I liked. Because, you know, CPE, which I personally took and found very, very challenging, although I didn't take IELTS, I like the idea that it corresponds the maximum in IELTS. Though in other sources, I will see like from 7.5 to 9, because it's graded. CPE can be level C, B, and A, right? The same, I guess, clear, right? This is the main, again, the main suite, and FCE, which is the subject of our today's seminar, and we're going to compare our ЕГЭ with FCE. And again, the question why? Why? Because, so the Russian specialist, English language, I don't know, Testology is a serious science, is a very serious field of knowledge. And to be a very qualified orator or tester, the person who, or test writer, right? And then rater, the person who assesses, that's not an easy task. And as far as I understand, the format of FCE was taken as a kind of a model, a blueprint for our ЕГЭ in English. And when you will start comparing that, you will see it for yourself. Okay? So, but then one might think, or if we want to put our ЕГЭ in English somewhere here, where should it go? Any idea? Here, somewhere here on this level? No, not exactly. Somewhere here, again no, because it's higher level. Our ЕГЭ is higher level than PET, preliminary English test. So, and I looked, not very thoroughly, but still, I looked at the format of this exam to have an idea and understood that it's much, much easier. It's really easier than our ЕГЭ. But still, I have heard the versions that, well, our ЕГЭ is something like FCE minors or B2 minors or B1 plus. It's like with our students, sometimes I ask, I can give you 4 with a minus or 3 with a plus, which do you prefer? Everybody prefers 4 with a minus. So 4 with a minus, but B2 minus sounds better, right? So all right. So just to bring a little bit change into this monologue, I suggest that we watch a very brief film made by Cambridge ESOL, Cambridge ELA, and it's called Behind the Scenes of Making Tests, or something like that, in which the key figures, the most important figures of Cambridge ESOL tell how they produce their tests. Okay?
It may seem like a simple thing to have a question paper on a desk for a candidate.
What the public see is that we've got a paper that has certain questions on it, but what they don't know is that it takes us 2 years in order to come up with that paper.
The process of putting together a Cambridge English exam starts in the city of Cambridge with Cambridge ESOL.
Well, Cambridge ESOL is a part of Cambridge Assessment, and Cambridge Assessment is a department of the University of Cambridge. Cambridge Assessment is a not-for-profit organisation. What that basically means is that we're not part of a business.
We can maintain our integrity, maintain our own way of thinking of what assessment should be doing.
One of the things about Cambridge Assessment and Cambridge ESOL is this interesting blend between continuity with the past and innovation, being up to date and cutting edge. One of the things that keeps us up to date and innovative is the strength of the people that we brought in and the knowledge base that we have here.
We're responsible for the design and the creation of material that goes into question papers and tests, and we also are responsible for making sure that the material gets to the test takers securely, whether it's paper-based tests or it's computer-based tests.
Every year, Cambridge ESOL distributes thousands of computer-based tests around the world.
We have about 320 staff working in Cambridge, and all of those staff are dedicated to producing Cambridge English exams. The process of producing those exams is extremely rigorous. questions are written by trained and experienced item writers. We have about 200 item writers working for Cambridge.
And I thought it would be a good idea if we had a look and decided which pieces of material.
All of our materials are pre-tested. That means they're tried out in advance, which allows us to understand how good they are.
In the last year, for example, we received back about 170,000 pre-tests from students all around the world. We then look at proofs of the question paper material. We need to select a writing task as well, which we could use. Yes. We check them and recheck them. We have independent experts check them as well. We then send an instruction for the question papers to be printed.
The information is then sent to DC10, a massive building that's the centre of Cambridge Assessment's logistics department.
We have a facility for printing question papers under very secure conditions. We have machinery for automatically packing and labelling the question papers into secure bags, which are then boxed up.
Millions of exam papers are stored here, ready to be pulled down and dispatched at a moment's notice.
In the course of a year, there's about 18 million exam papers come out here, 12 million others belong to resale.
The exams are then sent to over 150 countries around the world.
The final part of the process, the monitoring and evaluation, is highly important to the ongoing improvement of the examination system. Nowadays, examination sessions happen throughout the year.
In addition to that, there are a number of tests that we run which are on demand.
The great thing is that so many people have heard of us, and so many people know that they can really trust the exams that come out of Cambridge.
We follow a quality management system here. One of the main principles is that it's never good enough. You can always find ways to improve.